But yeah. How are you?
You see me?
Yeah, we've got.
Nice. I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
How are you? How's it all going? Are you safe and well?
Yeah, I'm in Atlanta right now. I it's weird. Like some days I'm like, all right, like I'm good. And then there's other days I'm like, all right, I'm so tired of this. Like we like get back training? Like can everything go back normal? But I mean, I understand we all got to do our part so we can get through this together, but it's been like a roller coaster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it feels that way from everyone, right? It's like you nailed it. You nailed it there. It's some days you get up, you think, right, I've got a to-do list. I'm gonna smash this. I'm gonna do this, that, and this.
Yeah.
And then some days you lie in bed, you think, what the hell am I even doing? Like I can't even
Mhm.
get out of bed today.
Yeah. And it's weird because I've been able to like I've been able to like go to a field, and one of my teammates, Emily Sonnet, she's here too, so we've been able to train together. But it's been like it's been weird because like we're like, all right, like we're done kind of just passing to each other. Like we're like, I want to play pickup so bad.
What does a day in the life look like now in comparison to how it did before?
Honestly, I feel like it's a lot like our off season. It's just, and it's weird because like we don't really get a long off season. So it's like this is kind of like an extended off season for us. Even though like our off season's usually December, like the month of December, and then we have January camp. Everything starts picking up again, but usually I'll wake up. I'm allowing myself to sleep in, catch up on sleep. So I'll like wake up and then just make a little breakfast, and then I'll actually head to the field. We have like a private field here in Atlanta, so like we're like super thankful that we have that because I know a lot of people, they don't have that. So we're able to like go there, get training done, and then I just like come home, either do a light like body weight circuit kind of lift thing, or some days I won't. But it's weird because it's like a lot of it is like the off season because you wake up, go train, and then you have the rest of the day to kind of like do whatever. And in the off season, I'm not doing too much. So, but yeah. And then I mean, the really only the big difference is like we just can't like go out to eat. Can't go out to eat. So I've been trying to like cook new things, and
How's
but
that
it's
going?
getting old. It there was a week where I was like making like a bunch of different stuff. Like I was making like this like chili stuff. I was making a curry. What else did I make? Oh, I made like these like tacos. I've been like really like branching out. Oh, I've been baking a lot. Banana bread. I feel like everyone's making banana bread.
Yeah, I've
Um,
forgotten that.
yeah, I made some brownies too.
You're teeing this up. I'm waiting for you to say right now all you're making is cheese on toast, as if this productivity's declined over the past few
Yeah.
weeks.
Oh yeah. It's definitely become like yesterday I literally just made like a quesadilla and I was like, all right, I'm done. Like literally tortilla, throw some cheese on there, put some salsa, done.
What's your staple dish? What's your go-to?
I would say it has to be like a stir fry of some type. Like just a bunch of veggies. It's easy. Throw it in the oven or throw it on the skillet or whatever, and then put some sauce on top and add some protein to that, and then
Easy win.
good. It's easy. But it's like I'm like trying. I need to remind myself. I'm like I have the time to make this stuff, so do it now. Because once season starts again, like I'm gonna be too tired to even like cook for myself. So I mean, this is a good time to practice that.
Have you found that? Have you found that the situation, obviously, other than the frustrations of it all, have you found the positives in it, in learning new skills and all that kind of side of it?
I feel like there's always something good with the bad. like you can always find a positive with the bad. And I feel like for me, I've been able to just really almost, I feel like the past year has been a lot like going with football. And it's been nice to kind of just like, okay, now is the time to like relax. I've had the past like 3 weeks to kind of just step aside. Obviously I'll still go out to the field and train, but it's like a different type of training. Like I'm just like training to just go get touches on the ball, and like just be with that side of things. So, but like I said, I'm ready to like get back into that like team environment. I need some competition. I need some like 5v5.
Have you sort of realized, like, when you've like reflected and stuff like that, have you realized what you've done over the last few years? Has it been an opportunity to, you know, take stock?
Yeah. I definitely think this is a great time to reflect and just kind of look at my journey the past couple of years. And it's been nice to like see and really think about because the past couple of years it's been like a roller coaster. It's been you're on highs and you're on lows, and so it's nice to like actually like take the time and reflect. And like for me, it's like, okay, when I was at a high, like what was I doing? What was I training like? What was my recovery like? What was like all that kind of stuff like? And then when I was at a low, like what was that like too? So it's been nice to take that time to actually like dive into the details. So then when I do start training again with a team, or when next off season comes, like I'm more prepared and I know what works for me.
Other than the obvious things like not seeing your family and loved ones and stuff like that, are there things that you still there?
Yeah, another call was coming in, but I declined it.
Good.
Appreciate it.
Good. Are there things that you know, subtle little things that you miss? You know, you said restaurants and going out to eat. Are there other things that you've realized that you just can't live without in these situations?
This week, this isn't like a little thing, but I feel like this week I've like really, really missed my family. Like I've missed my parents a lot, and I've missed my sister and my nieces. And it's weird because I'm like always on the road, always traveling, never at home. And I'm like used to like not being with my family, but right now it's like that's all I want to be. I want to be with my family, but we can't. So I would definitely say like my family I miss. The restaurants, going to restaurants. And I honestly like going to like a coffee shop. Just like being able to just go to a coffee shop and just either sit there with friends or just like go and grab something.
Just having the option to do something is the thing, isn't it? It's like the decision's in your hands.
Yeah, and then also like going to the grocery store, like I'll just like go to the grocery store like once and then just like get everything at once so I don't have to go back. And it's like if I forget something, I forget it and gotta live without it. But it's like you're starting to I'm like starting to realize like the little things that in everyday life that we kind of like take for granted sometimes. And it's like it's a nice time to like stop and reflect and be like going to the grocery store and not having to wear a mask and gloves. Like it's those little things that sometimes we take for granted. And I think it's a nice time to like reflect and appreciate what we do have.
What's the first thing that you think that you'll do when you get out of isolation, when you get freedom back?
Ooh, that's a great question. Well, I feel like once quarantine and isolation's done, I'll be with my team. We'll all be with our club team. So that's, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, like I was doing good. I was doing really good like the first few weeks. I was like, yeah, this is great. But I'm like really starting to Like, I just want to play. But soon it'll come.
One thing that we need to bring up is the Olympics, and having experienced one already, how did it feel, looking forward to the one coming up and kind of having it taken away from everyone? How did that feel for you personally?
It's hard because so many athletes like work towards that, and it's like you work so hard for that one thing, and having it be postponed, it's kind of like heartbreaking. But I mean, like I said before, I feel like there's always good and the bad, and I feel like the good with this is we have another year to prepare, and with the national team, like we just got a new coach, so we're changing the style of play that we're playing, so I feel like it's just a whole nother year to really key in on details, and another year we can just continue to grow. And honestly, I feel like it might be nice because for the women's football, it's different. You're going from a World Cup year straight into an Olympic year. So like and really you only have like 6 months to prepare. So I feel like it just gives us a little bit more time, but it definitely was like devastating and heartbreaking. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and hopefully in 2021 there'll be an Olympics.
Focusing on the positives and the Olympics in general, what the hell is it like to go to the Olympics? Because it must just be an insane experience.
Yeah, last Olympics was definitely it was a great experience. I was very young. It's a lot different than the World Cup, I would say. And it's just cool because it's with the World Cup, like the focus is you, the focus is football, but with the Olympics, like the focus is your country. So I feel like that's really the coolest part about the Olympics is like you're representing your country as a whole, with the best thing that you do. So I don't know. I feel like just like going through a last Olympics, like I took a lot away. It was my first major tournament. So I obviously was learning a lot about a major tournament during the time, but the main thing I took away was just like, it's so cool to really represent your country doing like what you love.
I mean, you touched on it then, representing your country. The next thing you went straight into going to win a World Cup. It's like, how do the two tournaments compare? How do they both feel?
Yeah. I think both you are representing your country. I feel like this past World Cup was definitely it was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. There was a lot of different emotions throughout the whole time, but it was probably the most rewarding and growth in both like on the field and off the field. I really got to take away like what it means to be a World Cup champion, and I feel like just seeing the preparation of what it takes, it like I would have never thought that before. So actually like being able to go through it, I learned a lot, and I feel like the difference is the focus is on you. The focus is on women's football. When we were over there in France, I feel like, I mean, most of us probably, I didn't really have any social media. I deleted all my accounts for the time being. And when we came back to the States, and I just like, it blew up. Like I didn't realize like what exactly we did. And it was like really cool and really special to like see what exactly we did. And I think it really hit when we had the parade in New York. There was like, that was my favorite part about the whole thing, was the parade in New York. Like there was millions of people on the streets, and it was crazy. It was awesome.
such a landmark moment for women's football in general, like in terms of the spotlight on it and all that sort of stuff. And it was mad. It was incredible. But the US women's national team is like a proper institution for women's football. You know, there's no greater team out there. It's such a high standard. Everyone's elite, but you've also got so many powerful figures and people who can make such a difference with their what's it been like from an education perspective to kind of like grow and find your feet around such iconic players?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been awesome, and I'm like so thankful that I'm able to learn from the greats. Like we'll be in doing like positional training, and like I'm taking reps after Tobin, and I'm like, who else is getting to take reps after Tobin, and like who else is getting to take reps after Pino and Alex and Carly. Like the environment is like such a great environment to really grow and absorb everything that you're learning, you could say. But it's awesome, like on the field, like being able to learn from them. But I feel like off the field too, like I definitely feel over the past 4 years I've been able to really like speak out more about anything really, and really be able to like find my voice. Because when I first got on the team, like my voice was like kind of like through how I was playing, you could say. But now like I'm like starting to realize that like our team, like, yeah, we do great things on the field, but like off the field too, a lot of people look up to us. And I think that's one thing that like I've always wanted to be in life, is to be like an inspiration for others. So it's been great to be able to learn from the best. And I'm like I said, I'm thankful for it, because not a lot of people get to.
So would you say that those moments, you know, those career defining moments you've used to a positive in a sense, where, you know, those moments off the pitch you've used in a positive manner to develop your character and you know your own personality?
Obviously winning a World Cup is probably a career defining moment. And like I said, like when we got back, I didn't realize like the impact that it had. So that was like, it was like eye-opening for me to see that impact that I do have on younger girls and boys who want to play the game.
Like when you get after that experience, when you go like back home, and do you see a whole nother like level of what it did in the States, and that sort of like fandom that comes with it?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you can see it, you kind of saw it with the NWSL. Like after the World Cup, we all came back, and the NWSL like really just like took off. There's the attendance for a lot of games went up, and you did see that people that weren't fans before became fans. And you see it all the time. Like people might not know who I am, but people know who the team is. And that's really the inspiring thing, is like the team is inspiring people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
And obviously there's players who a lot of people look up to, but it's the team as a whole who is really touching on people.
I think you touched on it in the previous question, but is it important for you to use, you know, social media and this current focus on the women's game to send positive messages to young upcoming female players?
Yeah, I definitely do think that. I'm not the best with social media, but I think it's a great tool and it's a tool that is a part of society today that we can definitely use the benefit. And I think it's important that we just continue to like spread that positivity around women's football and just like grow the game. Like, I think it's great that the game has like been excelling in the States, but after this World Cup, like I feel like it completely took off over in Europe, and I just hope that one day like it's viewed the same as men's football. And I mean that'd be awesome, and I think it's definitely on that trend, but we got some ways to go.
One thing I absolutely loved about that whole the final and everything about it was after the game, how you got to see all the celebrations. Like it looked like the maddest party, and then everyone was still going like the next day during all the celebrations and stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
I don't think you'd see that necessarily on the men's side. Like it feels like we got such a unique glimpse into like the celebrations, which I don't think we've seen in any. You get like press images afterwards that show a token thing of player holding trophy, but that was like we saw everything.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, where did you see it? Like just through like social media?
Well, I remember like people like Ashlyn had stuff. Yeah, just all on like Instagram stories and stuff like that. They were there. Everyone was just like going for it.
Oh yeah, no, it was a fun time. Let me tell you. I wish we could go back to the locker room. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's just something we wanted to share with everyone. Because I don't know who said it, but it was like our journey was like America's journey kind of thing. So we wanted to share like the celebration aspect of it. And I feel like, I mean, we just did something awesome, crazy, and we wanted to share it. And I'm glad, and it's good. I'm glad that people were able to like see the inside of it, because that's like something you don't really see a lot is when teams win a championship, you don't see the celebration part. So I'm glad that you were able to see our crazy locker room experience.
Yeah, it's definitely more like human. I think football can sometimes just show you one side of it, but you want to see the reality, really, especially when it's such a high.
Yeah, it's definitely something the men's game can learn from the female game. It's that togetherness that you were in that online on the social media. Then it's definitely something that people can learn from it to bring.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad people enjoyed that. And there were some funny videos.
In your last answer, you touched on it a little bit in terms of like the effect it had in Europe. There's definitely been a huge positive effect, and I think just generally as Soccer Bible, we want to make sure that it's not just looked at over here as a trend. It's something very much the future and something we want to be involved in across the board. How would you describe what it's like though on a club level in the States right now? Because there is so much like positive investment and stuff like that. There's more coverage than ever in Europe, especially in the UK. But what's it like in the States to play for a club team?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely different because not every team is affiliated with a men's side. But you're starting to see more and more teams like that, like a Portland, Orlando, Utah. Who else? There's others, but I definitely think that once we can get every team associated with a men's side, you're going to see so much more growth in the NWSL. But I do think that like I said, like after the World Cup, are like the fans. There were so many more fans. And I think it's definitely like an investment thing too. We just need people to be invested in the game. And I think over in Europe, you do see that. Like you see a lot of people invested in the game. And I think it's just important that we don't have, it's harder over here because we have football, basketball, all these other sports. But I think after the World Cup, people are starting to realize that women's soccer is pretty dope, and people should follow along and are pretty cool. So I hope that we do see more and more investment from all different types of people over here.
What do you think we could all do more of to bring equality to the sport?
It's a great question. The one quote that I love is like when Serena Williams is like, someone was like, she's the best female tennis player. And she's like, no, like I'm the best tennis player. It's like, I love that. And I think the more we can see that side of things, I feel like the better it's going to be all around. But it definitely, I don't know, that's a good question of what we could all do more. Everyone more as equal. The game is equal.
I think it's going in the right direction, at least.
I do. I really do. My friend told me this. It was like the Alabama running back or football player. I don't know what position. I'm not great with football, American football. But
that's why
a football player, and he did Pinot celebration after the World Cup, after he scored a touchdown, and like all ESPN and all these people were asking him, why'd you do that celebration? And he was like, why wouldn't I? Like, she's badass. And so like the more we can get like people on board with that, like that's dope, like that's so cool. And like we need people to jump on board and view it more like that.
I suppose it's breaking that stigma of, you know, there's men's football and then there's women's football. It's like it's
football. It's the same game, the same beautiful game.
It's National Tea Day in the UK today. If you want a little fun fact,
is it?
Alex Morgan's celebration doing the rounds big time.
Oh, National Tea Day.
Yeah, I don't even drink tea.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So
me neither.
Do you not drink tea?
I've never.
Neither of us are hot drink drinkers. I had the hot chocolate here and there.
Oh, okay. Are you guys coffee drinkers?
Nah.
I've never.
What about matcha? I got matcha right here.
There we go. Is that cold or hot though?
This is cold.
I
don't really like hot.
Tried a hot drink in my life.
Really?
Never. I've never tried soup.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't do that with me. I'm like so gullible.
He's not even joking.
Me and Lindsay are the most gullible on the team.
No, I'm not. I'm not even joking. I swear to God.
Really?
Honestly, I've never tried a hot drink in my life. I've never tried hot chocolate.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no. Don't leave the call. Stay on the call, please.
Hot chocolate's so good.
I know. I'm missing out big time.
Yeah,
so you're actually fine in quarantine, King, because you got no coffee place to go to. So
yeah. Tap water. Perfect.
Yeah.
You've got so many years ahead of you. What is there? Are there things that you're looking forward to? You know, milestones that you want to achieve. Have you set yourself any personal targets or goals?
Want to win a gold medal at an Olympics. Overall, I want to be just a inspiration. And I said this, I would always say this when I was younger, like no lie, like when I was like 8 or 10, I was like, I want to be like an inspiration to little girls and everyone around the world, just to like be able to do what they love. And I want to use my game to do that. And the more that I've been on this team, the more I realize that that's an opportunity that I have. And I think another thing that I've become more passionate about is like just growing this game. I want to see it grow here. I want to see it grow more in Europe. And I think obviously winning some more World Cups, that would be fun. Winning World Cups. I don't know, maybe head over to Europe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I think the main thing is just to continue to grow this game here and in Europe.
Hopefully we'll get another chance to do more stuff together in the future, because I think,
yeah,
I mean, like Keane said, you've achieved so much, especially at such a young age. Like it's going to be a huge future to come as well. So we'll be here for the ride, and just wish you all the best with it.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thanks for your time, and yeah, stay safe, stay well, and we'll speak.
Yeah, you too, guys.
Thank you.
Okay,
bye.
See you later.
Yeah.